Welcome to the show. You're on with Jenna and Matt.
Hi, this is so exciting. Can I tell you how to say my name properly? It's
Yes.
Laura.
It's what?
Hana Laura, a bit like Honolulu. Hana Laura.
Hana Laura. Okay.
Hana Laura. Oh, cool.
Thanks.
Hey, I've been listening to your show. I found a lot of, peace. I was raised in a really strict Baptist home. In fact, my parents were missionaries before I was born in Germany. My grandpa started a camp in northern Iowa for the particular type of Baptist that my family is. And so it's just, been a really strong thing. I gave it up when I was a teenager, about 18 maybe, and have lived my life as one of the only people in my big family that's also really close, as someone who doesn't believe in God and don't care about church or anything like that. And I raised my daughter that way as well. She came out as transgender last year. And
good for her.
She's wonderful and beautiful. She's doing really well. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
It's okay.
Our extended family has a reunion at this camp that my grandpa started, 80, 60 years ago, something. And the whole extended family gets together. And I got thinking about this happening every 5 years. And I got onto the Facebook page where everybody in the family is and said, my daughter's trans. Will she be safe and welcome? And this happened in the fall, and there's members of my immediate family that I am not speaking to because of the blowout of me asking that question, where basically several members of my family have been really accepting and wonderful. And then some of them, including my parents, who, despite them being really strict religious and me not being, we've been really close, while I've been raising my kid. And, they think that they can disagree or disapprove or whatever based on their, crazy beliefs of the Bible. But they think that it's okay, since it's their space, to not allow her to use the women's restroom, which she's been transitioning for almost a year. And, she's clearly a young lady. And it just so disturbed me that my family could have this conversation where they're debating if my daughter's allowed. And I even called up the camp director and he made it very clear and tried to give me, the bullshit line about, as Christian love. And I said, no, don't talk to me about love when you're denying my daughter just like a basic human right. It's really disturbing, and I'm not sure how to proceed with a relationship with people that have been great support to me and my daughter.
How
have
is she handling
disgusting beliefs? My daughter she doesn't care. Or she says she doesn't care. She says that she knew that would be the reaction. Even her own biological father, who is also very Christian, said, okay, well, I accept you. I'll use, the bare minimum. I'll use female pronouns and use your preferred name, but you can't ever come visit because I'm not going to explain you to my real kids. My real kids. So she lost her father.
Real kids?
He's kind of been what? I'm sorry.
Did he actually say with real kids?
I'm sorry. What about real kids?
Did he actually say that?
Oh, no. It's just that through the 17 years that we were never really together, but
I see.
It just has always been really apparent that his mistake kid is not. He treats the kids that he had, when he got married and had a family and stuff.
Do you live in a big town?
Say again?
Do you live in a big town or like a little town or a big city?
Well, I don't live anywhere near my family. I live in a small town.
Okay.
Shoot.
The reason that I ask is just because the only people in my life that I know of that still deny that transgendered people exist simply have not been exposed to transgendered people. They don't understand. They don't believe it because they don't see it. I'm not. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there was actually, before anybody knew in my family, just, me and my husband, about my daughter, my mom said, well, this woman in our church decided that she, is a different gender, so of course she has to leave the church. And she's saying all this stuff, and I just said, Mom, could you love a transgendered grandchild? And she's, this was the first time we'd ever talked about it, about a year ago, before my daughter was out. And she said, well, it's not going to solve everything, and just kind of ran away. And it's just so confusing to me that, I mean, a lot of my family members are, they're not like the homeschool Christian conservative type. They have regular jobs, and my oldest brother, who I haven't spoken to since this whole thing, lives in Chicago. It's I don't think it's a matter of exposure for them, and I do feel for a lot of people that it might be, and I have been willing to educate people little by little. Like, I have music students, and the parents are like, it requires some sort of explanation, and so there's been a little bit of that where, and I'm okay with that. But when it comes to my family, and it just really blindsided me that it made me think that I had at some point accepted that they are wonderful, loving family members, but they have these sort of gross beliefs that they think, and it's most of my family. And I think that I had just gotten comfortable with that all this time, sort of since, we made amends in my early 20s. And I was like, you're not allowed to preach to me, and I can hang out with you. You're not allowed to ever ask me to go to church with you or try to convert me, and we can still have a relationship. Nothing has ever like bumped up against their, those weird Christian beliefs until now. And I just couldn't believe, with how much my family has loved my kid growing up, that some of them would react in this way. And I have no idea how to move forward with, I didn't talk to I'm really close to my parents. I didn't talk to them for several months. I started to talk to them a little bit again, and at first it was surface, and then there's this part of me that's like, I can't ever have that relationship with them again, knowing that they think that my daughter is screwed up in the head, and that she's not like legitimate in what's going on, and they don't even believe. My mom said, well, you don't go like into a mosque and tell them how to treat people. It was just, how can you compare, denying, and plus the fact that, all these people in my family were on Facebook talking about my teenage daughter's bathroom habits. It's a different pain than I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah. I'm so sorry that you're going through this, and I'm so sorry that there are so many people that are resisting the idea that people are different from them.
Thank you.
I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I can't offer you any advice that is sound. I would just stress that people can change.
I hope so.
And if not, as much as it sucks, there are people who are no longer a part of my life,
right?
Because they're essentially a toxic influence on my life or on the people who I'm around,
right?
And if I have like, if I'm streaming on Twitch, if I'm game streaming, I have zero tolerance for any trans bigotry or anything that's even in the ballpark of that. Just you can fuck right on off. I don't need you here. I don't care that you donated $5 to, watch me play games. You're not getting a refund. You don't deserve a refund, whatever.
Right.
But it's the same thing as, it's finding a community that is welcoming. And one of the things, Jen, people came up with this years ago, that you're family if you act like family. And I completely agree with that. I don't care if we are blood related. You are family if you act like family. And there, I'd rather have the family I chose than the family that I was born to, if the family I was born to is awful. Now, my brother is awesome, and my parents and I still get along despite issues. But there are people who are closer to me than that for very good reasons. And part of it is, tied to Atheist Community of Austin. And I get it. There's going to be arguments and disagreements and stuff like that. But my feeling is to go to point out the bad arguments. Like, what do you mean you wouldn't walk into a mosque and say this? Did I walk into your church and say this? I'm saying this to you. I would say this to a Muslim. I would say this to any person, irrespective of their religious belief. But it's pointing out the bad arguments isn't what you need, because you can already spot that. What you need is to surround yourself with people who are going to be supportive of you and your daughter as this goes forward, and to make sure that the people who are not going to be supportive don't represent a toxic influence on her life or your life. Because the only thing that matters is that you guys take care of your life in a way where you are not mired in depression and anxiety and strife and frustration with other people in your family. And there's a ton of resources out there, Trevor Project and other things, but there's also, the Recovering from Religion and the Secular Therapist Project. If things go down the road, sounds like, I don't want to just say that like your daughter's putting a good face on it. It sounds like she has, at least in some way, made her peace with this, that this is going to be difficult. I genuinely hope that she can work together in communities with other people so that it is nowhere near as difficult as she thinks it might be. Because nobody should just have to live their life going, well, this is going to suck, so let me just prepare for all the suckage. We should work towards a way where it doesn't suck as much, and eventually where it doesn't suck at all.
Exactly. On what I said about people can change, that I want to add that, again, what Matt said, that doesn't mean that people will change. And so if you have people that are showing some violent tendencies, maybe stay away from those people. But I want to just add, though, that I have some mental health issues that are not necessarily recognized by everyone in my family. And so I'm not transgender. I can't relate in that way, but I can relate in the way that I'm not necessarily accepted completely. And just, again, kind of along with lines of what Matt said, I stay away from those people to protect my own health. Just take care of yourselves. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think I know a lot of what you said, but I need to hear it and know that my struggle to find that right balance of, if I'm going to be able to have any kind of relationship with my parents, or, I know there's no choice, if I pick my daughter, but
it's her choice who she wants to associate with.
Just keep loving and supporting your daughter, and, stay focused on making things better. And, don't feel like this is any way, you are not the shoulders that need to bear up the world.
Right.
You just need to be there for you first and your daughter. And anybody that's getting in the way of that, sorry, I don't have time for you, as sad as it is. Also, in addition to the other resources, you can call 1-844-I-DOUBT-IT to get to Recovering from Religion. But the ACA has a Discord, which I'm sure will be posted up at the bottom of the screen. And there's plenty of people in there you can talk with about all kinds of stuff. It's tiny.cc/ACA Discord. That's available all the time. We're going to go ahead and let you go because we're way, 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 way over time. But we appreciate it.
Thanks for getting me in.
Yeah, we want the best for you and your daughter. So you take care of each other and practice, your social distancing.
Thanks.
On that note, we're going to wrap